Now, since in the previous video we made the exact projects that were intended in the video, I figured today, as I promised, that we're actually going to be customizing these things. So I have some really cool things planned. Let's see if we can do it. And since I have 2 of the caramel apple, we're gonna make 6 different ones. Customizing the Miniverse Halloween Mystery Box Edition. For those of you who don't know Miniverse, they make the tiniest food. But first, before we turn them into food, we get absolutely miniature groceries. Everything from strawberries to milk, sprinkles, tiny bowls, a little bit of everything. And then with the help of resin on the inside of this packaging, we can turn these tiny groceries into mini foods. And we've done so many of these on the channel, whether it be Miniverse Make It Mini Cafe, Miniverse Make It Mini Diner. We've also done the lifestyle, and even more recently we did the Halloween version, in which you can get 3 different collectibles, either a apple caramel set, a pumpkin pie, and even a cute little bat latte. And the best way to know if you got the apple, pumpkin, or the latte is to look on the side of your Miniverse Halloween. Now, this trick does not work with any of the other series, only the special edition like the Halloween and the upcoming Christmas one. So here we see that we have the candied apple, which means this is the one we're going to be getting here. And if we look at this one, let's move it aside, it is the pumpkin pie. So if you're looking for these, definitely make sure that you get different ones on the side of the label thingamajig. Let me know, what is your favorite Halloween treat or snack? I'm really curious. I've always loved pumpkin pie because I am a pumpkin monster. And while you're down there, especially if you're new, make sure to subscribe and click on all notifications while you're there, which will turn you into a grain of salt in the Salt Shaker family. And if you're not new here, don't forget to smash the like button, just like smashing pumpkins. Let's go ahead and unbox the first one. Here is everything. 6 surprises. Oh, look at that. We have the crumble. Nice. These are absolutely adorable. We have tiny apples. It says Happy Sun Farms, and this is what they look like. And here's what the little ghost looks like. And let's get a closer look. Just look at the tiny details. You even have the little indent for every single tiny apple. My goodness. And this must be the tray. Yes, here's our tiny tray. Très bien. This one's chunky. Oh, there we go. This is our caramel, but oh my goodness, that is sticky. We have contamination, oh my God, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, definitely we have contamination over here, but this is where we're going to be dipping our caramel. Next, you are our sprinkles, which we're definitely going to be using some of those sprinkles. And here we have our tools. Pretty good. And a random spoon, okay. And of course we have the other 3 apples from the other box. And for some weird reason, I completely forgot how tiny these were. Again, here's my nail. Compared to it, it's barely bigger than my actual thumbnail. And I have very ambitious projects that we're going to make, but let's start quite easy. And since this is a plastic material, we cannot bake it, so we're going to be using air dry clay. I have a pack of hearty clay, and we're going to take a little bit of this. I'm going to try and flatten this as much as possible, like so. Voila. Let's just add our blue trusty felt here because everything's a little white right now. So far so good. I'm really going to try and get those edges as flowy as possible by pinching them and pinching and pinching and pinching. And now we're going to insert it on the top like so. And we're gonna make a tiny apple ghost. Yes! Let's try and get that bottom as flared as possible. Oh, that does not want to stick. All right, so we met our first problem. We need glue. So we're gonna grab some all-purpose glue. I absolutely love school glue, and not because of this. Put a little here and a little on the apple. Listen, I've never done this before, okay? This is a challenge. I'm trying here. And here is our second attempt, and that was, come on, don't be a disaster. Don't be a disaster. There we go. It's nicely covered. Definitely a flowy ghost. And now we're gonna take some of the black paint and we're gonna make some spooky little eye. That is way too tiny. We need ghostly eyes here. Bear with me, I am trying to work through a camera. Oh no, oh no. Okay, that's cute. And the other eye should be here. Absolutely adorable. And then we're gonna make a spooky mouth right in between, going down like, ooh, I am ghost. Ooh, I am ghost apple. Ooh. If you're wondering where the resin is, don't worry, we're gonna get to that because I have plans. Next, let's go ahead and try to make a mummy. So I'm going to take my white clay again and put it on this cute surface. Oh, that is not rounded. Hang on, I need a rounded thing. Aha, I have a pen. And let's flatten this as best as we can. And we're going to make this a very scary mummy with actual gooey, gory drizzle on it. And there you go. All right, so let's cut some sheets out of this. And try and get as thin as possible, but they shouldn't be even. So something like this. I'm gonna add some glue on the apple because I don't think it would stick otherwise. I think we definitely need that glue. All right, we're gonna do this. Oh gosh, oh please, oh please. Yes, and let's move all the way around. Again, we want this to look as, natural as possible. Voila. And we're just going to keep going around and around until we get that mummy type look. It's okay to keep gaps because even the mummified type look that we're going for is not fully covered. And I really like this area here, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the eyes right there. Oh my goodness, that looks fantastic. And the second eye right here. That's looking cute. And now we're going to take the black paint again. This is a very delicate process. Yes! Why does it remind me of a burger? I don't know. Looks so derpy. I love it. Let's add some eyebrows because why not? We're gonna just add some angry lines over here. That's looking good. And another angry line right here. Yeah, it looks like a Muppet. That's hilarious. And now we're gonna add some drizzle right on top. Now I do have a UV resin that's red, but it is a crystal resin, which means it's going to be quite translucent. Look at that. That is way too transparent. We don't want that. So we're gonna put a bit over here. And over here, I have a little bit of Perlex powder. Oh gosh, that is too much. Don't put too much. Oh, that is too much. I'm gonna put a smidge like so. I actually think that was still too much. And we go mixy. That's looking like an amazing red color. Oh no, I got some on my felt. No, not my felt. And now we need to do this very gently. Not too gentle. That is way too gently. So we're gonna try and add the drizzle right here. Do not over drizzle, please. Do not. I know mummies are not supposed to have blood on them, but this is a craft and we're getting creative. We're just adding some color, okay? Get off my back. Kind of looking cool. I love this. It's like a brain effect. Look at you. You are beautiful. Get it, boo? Because it's scary season, boo. Here we turn you around. Get some more over here. And I'm gonna try and get some of that drizzle on the side. Like a so, yes, that's looking good. And a smidge on this side. We don't want any leaking in the front, so I think we're gonna go like that. Beautiful! Oh my goodness! And now we're going to take our UV light because we do not have sunlight because it's Canada. And voila. Now this light, do not, no, don't fall. Please. This light should harden our resin in about 2 minutes. And for those of you who don't know resin, it's basically a liquid that when hardened turns into a glassy, plasticky type look. I've done so many different kinds of projects from aquariums, miniatures, and all of that jazz. I'll leave a playlist down below.
A few minutes later.
And here is our candied apple mummified edition. It is looking absolutely adorable. Don't worry, you're going to see the entire collection together as we're getting to the end. For this next one, we're going to attempt making a spooter. I'm not a huge fan of spooters, but if they're cute and not real, I'm okay with it. And for this one, we're going to go ahead and use the resin that came in another package of this Miniverse. I like to hoard craft supplies. If it's not finished, I'm like, I can use it for other things. And I usually think I'm smart, but what are you gonna say? Now I know this is a brown latte, but we're gonna go ahead and darken it in not too long, but let's go ahead and empty whatever is left in there. Oh goodness, actually, this is a fresh bottle. Excellent. Aha! And voila. This is definitely way too caramelly and we want to go a little bit towards the black. Let's just give it a few seconds. Come on. There you go. That should be enough. And I do have some black Perlex powders again, so we do love to use powders because if you use anything liquid that is not made for UV resin, the resin is just going to crack. We're gonna add about this much black. You don't want to add too much because we still want the light to shine through. And let's mix and see. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. That's not too bad. I'm gonna add a little more. Voila, and mixy. I wouldn't worry about making this a pure black just because if it is, it's actually going to have a hard time curing with UV resin, but this is pretty cute and good enough. And I'm gonna put my silicone mat over here because we're gonna be making a mess. And the first coat is going to, oh, that is looking smooth. That's actually looking way better than I expected. Don't jinx it, Jackie. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. And we're going to put it over here and we're gonna harden it. And since I like my colors a little bit more opaque, I went ahead and did the process again to make sure that everything is nicely covered. And it did trail quite a bit, but nothing stops us from taking the scissors and cutting off whatever excess we don't want. And now to make the spooter legs, I'm taking the same resin that we made. I'm just spreading it really thin on the silicone mat. And from there, again, I'm going to take my scissors and cut them out, dip them in the resin, and stick them one at a time. That's definitely tedious because we have 8 of them and we just gotta make each one stick to the body. And now to make the eyes, we're just using the air dry clay again, adding a little bit of glue and sticking those right on there. For this sake, I'm only going to do 2 eyes because we're sticking with cute. Now the spider was actually really annoying to make because the legs were they just don't look right to me. However, I think this 4th one is going to be super ambitious, but I think we could do it. And if you know what a mimic is, here's a picture of a couple of different kinds of mimics. They're basically chests with mouths open and sometimes the tongue sticking out and like little teeth. And this is really tiny, but I feel like it would be kind of cool to make a tongue and mouth sticking out of this apple. I'm not sure if I can make it with air dry clay, but we gon' darn try. If this were polymer clay, trust me, I could get way more detailed, and I promise you I'm better. Look at some of the sculptures I've made. I'm very talented. Sometimes. No, I just work hard. I'm not talented. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the tongue first. And as always, we do need our glue. So we're going to go ahead and add some of that over here. And we're going to take some of this and we're going to make it elongated and pointy because scary things be pointy. And we're going to stick it right in the middle and try and give it a bit of an angle like this. Oh my goodness. That is a good spot here. Now to make the lips, I'm just going to flatten a piece of clay, something like this. And we're going to try to make it so that it blends in to the rest of the apple. So we're going to have the mouth open like this, like so. Let's make the lips stick out a lot more, like that. Voila. Doesn't look like much now, but hopefully it'll look like something. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the bottom right here. So far, so good. I think we're definitely doing something here. Definitely doing something. Yeah, it definitely looks like a mouth from the side and on top. Now let's add tiny teeth, and this part is definitely annoying because I'm basically taking tiny pieces of clay and hoping that they stick to each other just so that we have tiny little bits here and there, which is going to make the painting process a bit nightmarish, but might be worth it. No matter what tooth I was putting over here, it just wasn't staying. So I took the tip of a toothpick, basically just cut it out and inserting it over here. So you can definitely get creative. There you go. Now we have teeth at the bottom. They're gonna be painted anyway, so it doesn't matter. Looks a little funny, but trust me, we'll get there. And now we're going to go ahead and paint it. Luckily, I did have a fabric paint. I know it's not fabric, but it's fabric, but it's very similar to the apple color. And then we had to go from the inside to the outside, starting with the inner mouth, lip, tongues, and then the teeth. And I have to say, painting this mini was interesting, but the result looks absolutely phenomenal. Look at our apple mimic monster thing. I don't want to add eyes. I just want to keep it creepy as it is right now. And now for the next 2, we're going to go a little bit more simple. Back to simple because that took me a few hours. Working with polymer clay, easy. Working with air dry clay, not so easy. So I'm going to go ahead and try and remove the plastic. Oh, that was easy. There you go. We're going to remove as close as possible, like so, and then like so. And bear with me here because I want to make a container with floating eyeball apples. I don't remember what they're called in English, but it's basically when apples are floating and you're trying to grab it with your mouth. I'm pretty sure nobody does that anymore, but it was a thing I've seen on TV. I've never done it before, but it looked like fun. But now knowing that everyone's just drooling into the water is quite gross. And since this project is pretty simple, we're just going to take our glue and add some. Ooh, that is more than some. That is a little too much. Just gonna tappa like so. Voila. And then tappa on this one as well, just to kind of give it a good coat. Now we're going to take a piece of clay and eyeball like this. I don't want it to be perfect because I'm going to do little bits and pieces of veins around the iris, the circle, the black part. So I'm going to eyeball the center. Get it? We're eyeballing it because we're guesstimating it, and it's an eyeball. And from the center, I'm just gonna make some lines. Ooh, that was a little thick. It's much harder working from the angle of a camera. Not too bad, but definitely way harder through the lens of a camera. Let me make the other one much nicer. So here's the one done through the camera lens, and ta-da! Here is the one with the exact same everything. Done with just me looking away from the camera lens. So it makes a huge difference. If you see some crafters not do their best work, it's because we're looking through a little tiny lens, and it's hard. And I'm making excuses, but it's the truth, gosh darn nabbit. And now we're just adding the black dot right in the middle. And for the bowl of water, we're going to go ahead and take some resin, color it with some Pearl X powders to make it red. And we're going to harden the first part all the way as much as possible up to the top. Add the first apple, harden that. Since we want it to float, we really do want to make sure that we do harden every single level is what I'm saying. And now we're putting the final apple right on top. And of course, harden that one too. And just for good measure, I did add a few cherries, because why not? And here is the apple eyeball liquid thing, chompy chomps. I have to say, for a simple project, I really do like it. However, time to make a creepy pie. And in case you forgot, opening these is an absolute nightmare because they do not actually work at the tab. Oh my goodness, please, please. I don't understand why they make it so narrow. My goodness. Can we, please? Yes. Voila. Okay. And the base is a spider web. Super cute. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 surprises. Oh, this one's open? What the shit? Well, it's not a surprise anymore. First item, we get the Halloween decoration, which says boo. Next, we have our base for the pie. Very nice and creepy looking. And here is the pièce de résistance. We have the resin pumpkin pie filling, which we will actually be using. Next here is the pie crust, which again, we will be using. This one is, oh, the whipped cream. I forgot this came with whipped cream. I'm not sure if we're going to use it, but I'll think about it. Again, if you want to see these projects be done properly, make sure you watch the initial video, which I will link down below, and here's what the thumbnail looks like. And for this project, as I said, we're going to be modifying it to make it look creepy, but we're going to be using the same base by using the actual pie crust and the resin, and we're going to put it all together. I absolutely love the fact that there's little details in the actual pie filling. Part of me really wishes it were scented, but luckily it's not, because resin is toxic, but sometimes it's fun to have scented things like they did with the candles in the lifestyle one. They actually made it pretty scented. It smelled like birthday cakes. All right, now that our pie base is done, now to go creepy. Let me just swap up the base here for this one. And we're going to take our air dry clay. Let's make a little bowl with it, like so. And I'm gonna flatten it out as best as I can, but in this case, I'm gonna take a pen and flatten it out even more. We don't want it to be too thick. Again, these are projects that anyone can do. These are not too complicated. The spider though, I don't recommend. Don't do the apple spider. Here we go, here we go. And now we have a thin top crust. Yes, I did say thin top crust. And now let's place it on top of the pie. And what we want to do is pinch the edges. I know the outer circle. Pinch the outer circle doesn't have any edges. Just keep pinching. I always confuse myself. Keep pinching until we get rid of the outer part here. Get rid of all the excess clay, like so. And it's looking good like this. So far, so good. And now, a sharp pointy thing. And for this, we're going to go ahead and cut out some eyes. So I really do want it to be large and creepy. So here's one set of eyes. And it doesn't need to be even. The less even, the creepier it's going to look. Let's carve that out. I clearly did not cut. Well, now we're plucking the eyes. There you go. Proper scary. And I'm going to cut the other eye, but now it's going to be important to try and cut a proper spooky mouth. So we're going to go pretty wide for this one. I'm feeling really nostalgic because now we're taking out some chalk pastels. This is my original set when I started the channel, so it's been a long time. And as you can see, I don't use them too much, but I use them enough, so a little goes a long way. And I'm going to shave off from this doughy color, like so. And a little bit of this brown. not too much. And some of that brown on the side. Voila. And now we're going to take a brush and mixy. This is the perfect part if you actually have a toothbrush that you don't like to make texture. But since I can't find my old toothbrush, I'm going to use a piece of crumpled up foil paper just to kind of make indents all around to make it look as natural as possible. Look at that. We're getting nice texture over here. Let's roll that stuff here. Looking good. All right, now we're going to douse our brush in the powder. And we're going to go into town by coloring this up to make it look like an actual pie crust. And it's mostly using the combination of that kind of browny yellow and the brown all around the edge of the crust to make it look baked. And just keep going until you're happy. And now I'm just going to take a little bit of red paint and put it around the eyes and mouth to give it an even creepier look. And because I'm curious, I kind of want to put little dollops for eyes right in the middle. Just tiny, tiny freaky eyes. Oh, that is creepy. Tiny. Oh my god, that is so creepy.
I am from the depths of evil.
And here is our creepy pie. Of course, you can go ahead and put the whipped cream or any other decoration that you want, but I feel like it's just making it cuter versus actually spooky. And here are all 6 of our projects. Let me know which one is your favorite. I have to say the spider's kind of growing on me, but I really do like the one with the mouth. I think that one's my favorite. Although the mummy is cute though. You know what? I kind of like them all, but I have to say the one with the teeth is my favorite. Again, I'm curious to know which one's yours. If you want to watch more crafty things, make sure you check up here. If you want to watch something a little different, make sure you click down here. Until then, I will see you grains in the next video.